Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. If you guys are new here, welcome. And if you guys have already been subscribed to the channel, thank you so much for subscribing. Today's makeup tutorial is a one brand makeup tutorial, and the brand that we're going to try is Wet n Wild. Now, this is the makeup that I came out with using all Wet n Wild products. If you want to see how I achieve this look, then please keep on watching. Okay, let's start. So first, let's apply primer. Now, I have two primers with me. One is a Mega Glow Primer Serum, and the other one is my dewy primer. I think we should apply the primer serum just because I do not want to alter the foundation that we're going to apply underneath. And I know this is more of like a very light watery consistency, so it's not going to mix up with the foundation consistency. Now next, I want to apply my brows, and for brows I have Wet n Wild retractable brow pencil, and this is in the shade Ash Brown. This is absolutely my favorite, like go-to fast brow kind of a routine. So I'll just finish off with my brows and I'll get right back. Now for foundation, you guys know, if you guys have been following me, you guys know how much I love their dewy foundation as well as their regular foundation. So in both of them, the regular foundation as well as the dewy foundation, I'm in the shade Desert Beige. Now, I definitely wanted to test out their newest tinted hydrator just because I love Wet n Wild foundation. It really does work with my skin type and skin tone. So I definitely wanted to give this a go too. And this is in the shade Tan Medium Deep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test out the wearability of the products too. So in half of the face, I'm going to apply my dewy foundation. And in the rest of the half, I'm going to apply my tinted hydrator and see how it all works. So on my right, your left, I'm going to apply my trusty dewy foundation. So this is half of the face with the foundation and this is with nothing on it. Now as you can see, this is like very nicely applicable, very skin like. It's not matte, it's not dewy, it gives a very skin like natural finish. Now for the tinted hydrator, let's go do that on the other side. This is oil-free perfector, delivers hydrating benefits in a buildable sheer to medium tint for a flawless, soft, luminous complexion. Hyaluronic acid and plant-derived squalene helps promote healthy-looking, supple, moisturized skin. I definitely stand by the claims. It is definitely a light coverage hydrator. A lot of brands are coming right now with like BB creams and CC creams. Like ELF came out with one. Now Wet n Wild has come out with one. I think that's what's gonna be a trend for 2021. So I'm gonna see if this is buildable or not. And as far as I can see, it's definitely a little buildable. So yeah, I do stand by the claims. It is definitely a light to medium coverage skin perfector. I feel if you are the shade Desert Beige, this would perfectly match you because I cannot see a difference in the shade for sure. It actually looks the same to me. We'll see at the end of the day how it wears, and I'll definitely let you know in the video itself how it wore throughout the day. Let's move on. I wanted to pick up their newest concealer, but my Walmart did not have my shade for sure. It was very, very light that was available there. So I don't know whether they ran out of it or not, but I do have a Photo Focus concealer and I am in the shade Medium Peach. I'm not a big fan of this concealer, I won't lie for sure, but I think the concealer that they came out with right now has much more coverage. I would definitely want to try that out, maybe in a future video when my Walmart carries it. But I do have the rest of the products that they came out with in the newest category. Now for my under eye powder, if you guys have been with me, you know how much I love this powder. And this is Wet n Wild Mega Contouring Palette, and this is in the shade Dulce de Leche. And I'm going to take that lighter shade of the powder underneath my eyes. It's like one of my ride and dies, true and trusted product. I absolutely love it. It's so finely milled. It can definitely compete with my high-end products. I absolutely love it, and I really don't want Wet n Wild to go out of this. Now we'll come back to this a little later. For my entire face, I'm going to take my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder. Again, another favorite of mine. I have a huge pan on it. So I'm going to take a big fluffy brush, run it through it, and just set my face with it. Should have definitely applied this before, but will anyways apply this. And this is Wet n Wild contouring stick in the shade Call Me Maple. You guys know how much I love this. I always apply it in my videos. Only today I forgot it. A definite dupe for Milk Makeup's contouring stick. So easily blendable, so pigmented. Love it. Now just to set that contour, we're just going to bronze up the face with the same palette. And I'm just going to take the bronzer side. It's a very neutral bronzer, so you can definitely contour and bronze with the same shade. It's a very versatile palette. I mean, there's a lot of days where I've just applied this on my eyes too, and I've like ran out of the door. So after that, let's move on to the blush. I have two blushes with me. One is in the shade Mellow Wine and the other one is in the shade Pearlescent Pink. And I think for today's look, we'll use Mellow Wine. It's super pigmented, so light dusting will go a very long way. And I absolutely love these blushes. Packaging has changed definitely. So now when you go to the market, you will find it in like a circle round packaging. But nonetheless, it's one of the best drugstore blushes for sure. Now, another beautiful find and the beautiful discovery from Wet n Wild are their highlighters. Again, I have in the shade Precious Petals and Crown of My Canopy. So this is Precious Petals, what I generally always use. It's a pinky champagne gold. And this is Crown of Canopy, which is a little more darker and deeper, more rose gold bronzy shade. So today, what should we apply? I mean, both of them would go beautifully well, I know. So let's start off with Crown of Canopy. See how beautiful that is? Now for my eyeshadow primer, I'm going to take my Wet n Wild's Photo Focus Eyeshadow Primer. This is like my go-to for any eyeshadows. Just a small little tiny bit and then apply it on both of your eyes. And this will definitely make the eyeshadow last a little longer, pop a little more. Now, after we apply that, I have tons of eyeshadows. I actually have one more in the drawer, but that's the oldest. I don't want to apply that. So today, we're definitely going to test out the newer one. Out of the old ones, I would say my favorite is, it's my Glamour Squad palette, dupe for Soft Glam from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is like my go-to palette. I mean, if you want to pick up a dupe for Soft Glam palette, I mean, don't even hesitate. This is a stunning palette. The quality, the pigmentation, everything is on point. Again, they have a few more. This one is Rosé in the Air, which is a dupe for Modern Renaissance. Again, these rosy mustardy tones. Love that. And this is, it's not a basic peach palette. I actually don't know what is it duping, but it might be duping something. I mean, I love all the palettes. I really do. But definitely my favorite is, it's my Glamour Squad, just because those are the tones that I really apply in my everyday life. And even if I'm going for a glam look, I mean, I've traveled with that palette a lot. But today we're going to tackle this palette, and this is called Call Me Sunshine palette. Again, it's another 10 pan palette. Similar to this, the older palette. I mean, the size wise, both of them are exactly the same. But product wise, the older one had 0.35 ounce, 10 grams, and the newer one has 12 grams, 0.42 ounces. So we're getting more product. The pan size definitely is much more bigger this time. And I absolutely love the route that they're going. If you guys have not seen that video itself, I will link it in the iCards above. This is an exact dupe for Urban Decay's Naked Honey palette. So if you were skeptical about trying Naked Honey palette, maybe because of the price, maybe you do not wear a lot of yellows, or you do not know how you pull out yellows, this would be a $5 dupe for that. I mean, who can complain that? Certainly not me. So today we're going to test out those shadows. So first I'm going to take that pale cream shade and run it all across my eyelid. This is moreover like my skin tone shade. So it's a great base shade for me, so that all the other shades can like blend on top of each other smoothly. I'm going to take that mustardy yellow shade from the palette and run that on my crease as the transition shade. Now I'm going to take the deeper mustardy brown shade and I'm going to apply that again on my crease, but a little lower than what we applied the earlier shade. I've gone back and forth on whether to purchase that Urban Decay's Naked Honey palette or not, and I'm actually not a big fan of yellows, but because everybody was raving about that palette, that it is more mustardy, not like yellow, but more of a golden side palette. I mean, I was getting too intrigued, but I am glad that I did not jump the bandwagon. And I know that out of the Urban Decay palettes, the Born to Run palette and the Naked Honey is the most popular one out of the lot. And I am really glad that I did not buy the Naked Honey palette and I grabbed this from Wet n Wild instead, because definitely $45, $50 palette and $5 palette, if it works and if it blends beautifully, I mean, there's no question that I would go for this. And as far as I can see right now, they are blending absolutely amazing on my eyes. It's deepening up pretty well. It's blending smoothly. And I definitely feel that they have not repeated the shades, as there were like a lot of redundant shade in the Naked Honey palette. Wet n Wild has avoided that. And they've given us more compact but great shades to play with. So now I'm going to take the deepest brown in the palette. Oh, I love that brown. It's a deep chocolatey like yellow brown. I love it. So I'm going to apply that shade on my outer and inner corner, just because I'm planning to do a halo eye. Now I'm going to take that green gold shade. Oh, I love these antique golds. I love the way how brassy it is looking. Now I'm just going to lighten it up a tiny little bit. And for that, I'm going to take that extreme gold in the palette and I'm just going to apply it right in the center of the eye, just for a little more tiny little dimension. Now I'm going to take that topper shade from the palette and just press it on top of that. I'm going to take the same shade and run it right in the center of the lower lash line. Now for my inner corners, I'm going to mix the lightest shade and the topper shade both together. I'm just going to plop it in my inner corners, just so that it's not like too white. I want it to be a little more on the golden side. Now I don't have an eye pencil from Wet n Wild, so I'm just going to use my Essence Extreme Lasting Eye Pencil in the shade But First Espresso, and I'm just going to line my waterline with it. Now I'm just going to apply a liner, and I'm going to use my Wet n Wild's Mega Liner in the shade Black, and I'll get right back. Now for mascara, we have a new mascara from Wet n Wild, and it's called a Big Popper Mascara. Now let's see how does it apply. It's a huge bottle. I mean, it's like a weapon. So this says bigger the better, Big Popper Mascara. Again, an hourglass shape on the wand. Let's see how it applies and how does our lashes look after we apply this. I like it, I really do. Is it the best in the drugstore? No, I've seen better. But it's definitely a step up for Wet n Wild mascaras in general. Now let's move on to our lips. I have 3 lip liners with me. I don't think any of them would go, but but I love their lip liners. I really wanted a brown lip liner just because our eyes are so warm. Should we try Lay Down the Mobs? Let's try, right? Nah, I think I'm just going to apply a brown lip liner just on my lip line. I'm not going to fill it in or anything, and I'll get right back. Now for my lipstick, I'm going to take my Wet n Wild Sandstorm lipstick. This is more of the warm brown. Now for the product review, I really do like their newest eyeshadows. The mattes are super pigmented, easily blendable. The shimmers need a little more of a building. It is pigmented, but it's a $5 palette. I mean, instead of 1 layer, if you can apply 2 or 3 layers, you'll be happy with it. I really do like this palette. I mean, I'm still happy that I did not buy the Urban Decay Naked Honey palette and I went for this instead. So if you wear like golds and yellows occasionally, I mean, this is for you for sure. So yeah, that's it for today. I loved the tinted hydrator. I will update on the screen how it wore throughout the day. And as for the mascara, as I said, it's buildable, it's easy, it gives fluffy lashes. It's a little bit of a drying formula, I would say. It doesn't get clumpy or anything, but it's not giving me so much volume that I really look for in the mascara. So it's a happy everyday kind of a mascara for me. So yeah, that's it. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this one brand makeup tutorial for Wet n Wild. If you do like affordable makeup series, definitely do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and ring the notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!